Next subject is about the podcast wars beef.
Okay.
Man, I don't know what's going on.
It's getting.
Yeah. Hey, look. Full disclosure.
It's getting crazy.
We not beefing with nobody. We want everybody to win.
Yes, sir.
Our podcast is coming from a different perspective.
Right.
With me being a basketball trainer, talking about that. I don't know. I mean, okay. So what are you talking about? You talking like, look. There's a podcast called All the Smoke. Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now we know Stephen A. Smith has his podcast and everything.
Right.
Well, Stephen A. Smith has said some things within the last year, and you could go back. There are numerous things that make you kind of, when you read it, you kind of turn your head looking at the side like, man, what you trying to say? Right? So, he made his thing about LeBron. He don't like him. Matt Barnes called him out saying, you talking about LeBron making comments about Memphis when he's golfing with white guys. And you made these disparaging comments about Kamala Harris, Jasmine Crockett, and I think it was somebody else. I can't remember. Right? So then Stephen A. Smith comes back and goes at Matt Barnes. Then Matt Barnes comes back and goes at Stephen A. Smith. Then Stephen A. Smith goes back at Matt Barnes. And while this is happening, Stephen Jackson goes at Stephen A. Smith. Then Stephen A. Smith goes at Stephen Jackson. Then Stephen Jackson goes at everybody else. And then the other podcast with not Big Pun. What's his name?
Fat Joe.
Fat Joe. Got it. Fat Joe, Noriega, and somebody else. Noriega talking about how he was in the space with Steven Jackson and he didn't say nothing about no beef. And I'm like, yo, man, this is getting out of hand. I feel like Biggie and Tupac again.
Yeah, it's sometimes it doesn't seem real to me. I know with the Stephen A. thing, I've always considered Stephen A., not here recently in the last 3 to 4 years, but I always kind of consider him the voice of certain people, NBA guys.
Yeah.
Certain people that are trying to really come up like he is.
Right.
To me, I've always seen him as the big brother to kind of bring people in, which he has. And then it's beyond disappointing when you hear him go at certain people that are either trying to come up like he is or are well respected by certain communities, and he goes after.
Yeah.
It just then he's getting into politics and he's one that just he cannot see himself.
He's
got a problem.
He's changed.
He's changed a lot.
And it's like all you have to do is go back and look at him when Skip was on there. And then once Skip left and he was on there, by himself and, what was it? I think it was somebody else before Molly and First Take started. He was different, with the stuff he did and how he talked.
Yeah, you have to be, but he's really different.
Yeah, like I was like, I say, I read something and I'm like, I'm looking at the phone, I'm like, man, what you talking about? Like, yo, dog, you got sisters, you got a mom, and you talking like this?
Yeah, he's talked about women of color pretty bad.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so
and I think he just needs to leave that stuff alone.
That's too late. I've tried to give him the benefit of the doubt, because I always try to look at whatever somebody says, and I'll try to look at it from different sides, different points of view, and try to take my thought out of it, my process, just to see if I'm missing something. And I keep doing that, and it keeps coming like, dog, no, bro, you can't be, So he's lost me. I feel, the thing is now it's like people will do something wrong and then they say, oh, I'm sorry. And then, people take them back. And I know we're supposed to be forgiving and stuff, but I don't know if he can come back from this.
Well, he can. He's intelligent enough, but I think he really, for him to absolve himself of all this, he's really got to have a come to Jesus meeting.
Yeah.
And really, as they say, own your nonsense.
Yeah.
If it'd be different if two people were saying it.
Yeah, no, it's everybody.
You have a whole community saying it.
And then when like he called Matt Barnes, see, he was out of pocket because he called Matt Barnes an influencer.
Oh
right?
wow. Oh
right.
wow.
Now maybe he was talking about somebody else, but when he said podcast and influencer and he was talking about Matt, that's the message I got. Now, I could be wrong. I could maybe listen to it again and dissect it, but that's what I gathered from it because it was like he was trying to big up him. To me, you need somebody that's bigger than him to sit him down and say, man, what you doing? No. And at that point, he'll listen.
Well, at this point, the only type of person that can sit him down has got to be somebody he respects, and he just doesn't seem to respect the community that he needs to respect.
I would say Michael Wilborn, maybe Charles Barkley, maybe Jordan.
And then for him to say, I haven't changed, y'all changed.
Yeah.
Just because I got that check. And
and I'm like, I was like, yo, hey, he coming up. And then it was like, we were laughing because they was like, yo, he's Steven on everything. He got that money. He's everywhere now, right?
Right.
And it's funny because the same thing, Charles Barkley, he's everywhere.
Right.
But Charles has always been,
he's been himself.
Outspoken in himself. But he's never said anything to this effect.
No. Man.
I mean, did you see how he made the comment during the NCAA about the UConn kids' family, about how, we need to start treating these the immigrants better. He said it on CBS.
I didn't hear that.
It was, I think it was before the Final Four, but he made the comment. Bruce Pearl sitting in the middle.
Oh boy, yeah.
And he didn't say nothing. And what's his name? Burleson, Nate Burleson was like, "Bless you, Chuck. I love you." And I'm thinking to myself, was that a subliminal message to Bruce? Because him and Bruce Pearl are really close. Mm-hmm. But was that a subliminal message to him with the stuff that he said?
Well, Bruce needs to really settle down.
Yeah.
Because he said some outlandish stuff here lately, which is why he's not coaching at Tennessee.
I'm surprised they put him on CBS.
I'm very surprised at that.
I'm very surprised they put him on. And I'm not saying you can have your views, but it's just some things that you say that's like, and it's like people feel like they comfortable saying and doing anything now.
There's views and then there's being disrespectful.
Right. And that's what it is. So that the podcast hey, you might see us next week all vested up. We might be vested up, I might have my do-rag. I'm bumping my Scarface, ready to get in the street or something like that. I'm just saying, I'm talking, man. I'm too old to be beefing.
As they say, they're doing too much.
Yeah, they're doing too much. Everybody has a space. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. And look, nobody could come and say, oh, well, you just no, y'all better, Chuck said, y'all better Google me.
Right.
I started my podcast before COVID. Mm-hmm. We started when we had it on Facebook. We were doing it with me and Thomas.
Right.
And then once COVID hit, and Thomas was like, man, what you come out? Like, man, I ain't coming over there. We on lockdown, dog.
Yeah.
And April was like, well, why don't you just keep going? And I started it. So I have a podcast. I think it's on Spotify now.
That's awesome.
I had back in before, what was it? 2019, maybe the beginning of 2020 is when I had the podcast. So, I'm a OG when it comes to the podcast. I don't need to be seen or known by no 500 million people, but I'm just saying the timestamp is there. So I'm not beefing with nobody, but I think it's so much that the public wants to hear from these players and these people about their opinions with stuff. We don't need all of that. You got Kenyon Martin and Tim Thomas talking about come on, man. Yeah, so let's do better, y'all, because let's do better.
And King Martin getting sensitive nowadays, boy. But I don't know.
Yeah. Well.
But yeah, he from the house, so
Yeah, I got to ride with King.
yeah.
I got to ride with King.
But
yeah, don't mean out.
But he has some valid points though.